It's my pleasure to introduce Sunita Bhuyan. She is a talented musician, trained as a violinist in the Hindustani style of Indian classical music. But not only does she play Hindustani music, she actively experiments with jazz, folk, and popular music to enrich her performances and reach diverse audiences. Of course, she's not just an accomplished musician. She's also the head of learning and development at Syntel Inc, which I'm personally connected with, where she uses music and the ambience it creates as a life enrichment tool for her management development workshops. Sunita? Now, we don't want to miss a second of Sunita's performance, so I do ask you to make sure that your cell phones are switched off. Thank you.
वक्रतुंडा महाकाया सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सा नि द नि रे ग म रे ग सा नि द नि सा नि प म ग म द नि रे ग म प रे ग सा. Thank you, Indira, for the warm introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sunita, and I shall take you through a journey of music, the notes, the chords, and all that goes into making a musical performance. That was an invocation to Lord Ganesha, the Lord of this land, Maharashtra, and of course the Lord of good luck, so that he blesses us this evening and takes TEDxBandra a very long way. When an event is organized, there are three cosmic energies that come into play. The first, the intent of the organizers and the event planners, what they want to achieve out of the event, what is the outcome that they're looking at, and the passion towards making it happen. The second set of energies is the passion and interest and the love of the performer towards his or her craft and the subject of presentation. And the third, most important, is the interest and the passion and the belief of the audience on the performance and the event organizers. So that was Vakratunda Mahakaya Survakoti Namastute, which means let all the energies come together this evening for a very, very interesting and successful evening. I have with me as my partner on stage, Bhushan Parchure. Bhushan, who is a very well-known tabla player of India and is the disciple of Ustad Allah Rakha, has gone through the tradition of Indian music, which translates into performance, the tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara, and is here on stage to support me this evening. Every presentation may not be a performance, but every performance is a presentation. What differentiates a presentation from a performance is what I'm going to talk about a bit before I go on to the entire session agenda. A presentation is a communication of ideas, information. It could be a presentation for influencing a group of people. It could be a platform for convincing people towards change. Or it could be just knowledge transfer when we do trainings and briefings in the corporate world or in your school when you do your classes. You intend to transfer a set of information to the students. So that could be, every teaching session could be a presentation too, in the context of the American school. And every presentation in the context of the corporate world, the social world, could be a performance. But how does it become a performance? What is the difference between a presentation and a performance? The difference, ladies and gentlemen, is the connection with the audience during the real moment. In customer service parlance, because as we stand here now, you are my customer as I'm presenting a topic. In customer service parlance, it's called the moment of truth, when the customer goes to the experience of either happiness, satisfaction, or frustration with a product or a person or a service. In psychological parlance, it's called here and now. Whether you are a great artist, a great teacher, you are very knowledgeable, it doesn't matter. How you communicate your idea during the real and the live moment is what matters for a performance. Also, in entertainment parlance, it's called the zing, the punch that the performer had, or the oomph that the actress had when she displayed even a very, very serious role. So, in all kinds of situations or contexts, a presentation becomes a performance when there is a connection with the audience during the real moment, and when there is a continuous interplay of emotions between the audience and the performer and the co-performers. So that was just a little introduction about a difference between a presentation and a performance. I shall take you through a very short presentation, just 3 slides, so don't get worried that it's going to be a long PowerPoint presentation. We've titled it Performance Dynamics Before. What happens before a performance, during the act, and what happens after and how it's related to the entire performance. Four C's that go into making a performance as per my heart and soul. So it's definitely not prescriptive, but I have been performing for the last 20 years, 21 years, since I was a learner. In the music world, you don't have to become a master to be a performer. You keep performing in front of your guru, in front of your guru's students, and then you start performing in front of other musicians. So every recital is a performance of sorts. Concepting and ideating is the first step that I would go into when I plan for a performance. Ideating or thinking or planning what the performance should entail. What is the objective of the performance or the presentation? What is it that the organizers or event planners want to achieve at the end of the performance? What would we want the people who are in the room giving their precious time to go out with when the performance gets over? Once we have ideated, it could be entertainment, like I said, it could be influencing, it could be in changing mindsets, it could be just information or awareness. Once you've ideated and conceptualized, the next piece is competence. And competence is not competence, standalone competence. It is not about how much depth of knowledge you have within you. It's about how you align that depth of knowledge to the context. So you must have seen great, very knowledgeable teachers. They enter a room, but there is no connect with the students. There are great musicians who go on stage, perform a repertoire of very complex compositions, but somehow the performance doesn't create a zing. It's about your competence aligned with the real moment here and now. So it's competence not individually, but competence holistically with the context and the entire performance. The third piece definitely is the collaboration, which is what we're going to dwell on in detail in the next few minutes. Collaboration, again, a 3-way collaboration between the artist and herself, artist and co-musicians, artist and the audience. And because I'm going to take you through that in detail, I'll go on to the 4th C, which is connections. Connections with the audience during the performance, connections with the audience just after the performance. What it would be like if there was a musician who performed very beautifully and no one came up to her or him to congratulate? Yeah, that would be really a very, very, it wouldn't be a very nice performance. That's the high the musician gets or the artist gets when the audience comes across, and that's their precious time. They've already waited through the performance, but they make time to wait or come behind to the wings and meet the artist. That's the most beautiful moment. And the other connection is feedback and constructive criticism that the artist gets, which doesn't make the artist feel good at all, because after all human beings, but that really helps the artist go on to the next level. And very few people make the courage and the time to come up and give that constructive criticism to the artists. And that goes a long way in setting the stage for the next concept, the next ideating, and the next performance. So these are the 4 C's that I feel go a long way whenever I plan for a performance. Let me take you to the 3 phases, and that's the last slide. I can announce that. The second last slide, before I just end the presentation. The 3 phases, concept and planning, we talked about that. And during the performance, let's dwell on the 3-way communication between the artist, collaborators, and the audience. The first communication that happens, and which is intense, which is intimate, which is the most beautiful and surreal element of a performance, is the artist's communication with his or her craft. So if I'm a musician, the way I handle my violin, the way I treat it, the way I use it to express my feelings is the most intimate communication during a performance. If I'm a singer, the way I play with my voice, the way I treat my voice, the way I breathe to get the best vocal intonation. And if I'm a trainer or a teacher, the way I play with my words, the way I speak, the way I intonate, do I believe in what I'm saying? Is my tone cognizant with what I'm trying to express? That's the very intimate conversation or communication that happens between the artist and his or her craft. The second is the artist and the co-artist on stage. It could be 2 people, typically a duet if it's a musical performance. And in India, it's called Jugalbandi. Jugalbandi, when 2 artists together create synergistic music. I'll show you a little demonstration on the collaboration between the artist and the co-artist. Ni re ga ma pa re ga sa ni da ni sa ni pa ma da ni re ga ma pa re ga sa ni re ga 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 ma ga re sa sa ni dha ni re ma ma pa ma da pa ma ga re sa Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Parama Bhaya Bhavamanaram Shri Ram Ni re ga ga re sa ni dha ni re ga pa ma ga re ni re ga sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da ni re ga ni re sa ni da ni re ga ma da ni da pa ma ga re sa ga ni re sa. Your body language, your verbal cues, your eye contact is so important during the collaboration between the artist and the co-artist. And that is the most critical element of a performance, because before you start your connection with the audience has to feel good. The audience has to feel good to see the collaboration between the 2 artists. And that sets the stage for the audience's communication with the performance. And here you have body language, you have eye contact. In Hindi, it's called ishara. Isharo, isharo, mein na 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 na, batao ki tumne seekha kahan se. That was about a Hindi song about ishara, or the look that can go a long way in any relationship. But on the stage, the relationship between the co-artists depends on the look. You have to be in the same eye level with your co-artist. Of course, when you have a 100-piece orchestra, it's rehearsed so many times that you sense the ishara because you've practiced so many times. But for performances like Jugalbandis and typical music performances with 2-3 artists, it's the eye contact that creates all the difference. And the third most important piece of the communication is the collaboration with the audience. And I'm going to show you that as I go on stage and use my violin and do a small demonstration. Before I go onto stage and show a demonstration of the three-way communication, I would like to leave you with a few profound thoughts and lessons that we all can learn from the world of music through a performance. Depth of knowledge. Yes, knowledge cannot be standalone, but knowledge is the most important element to get the performance to a higher level. The second is partnerships and collaborations. If you really want to be a leader, if you want to lead a class, a school, an organization, a social organization, a society, a government, it has to be through partnerships and collaboration. And if we do music, it teaches us to be we have to be collaborative. We have to play in partnerships. We have to share the limelight. We have to give people their equal share under the sun. And that's what makes every performance much greater than what it's supposed to be. We have to be very confident and secure company. I would like my tabla player to be much better than me in his skill so that my performance goes a level higher. It teaches you to be very confident and competent company. Fusion and assimilation. I may be a Hindustani artist, but I just can't play my ragas to all kinds of audiences. You can be the best financial expert, but your government in an organization, the market, needs to understand a financial strategy. So do music. It can really help you to be a global financial expert. Coaching and mentoring. If we don't have coaches, and if we can't coach people, we can never lead organizations. And the surprise element, which is what I'm also worried about. It's positive stress, that when I do my demonstration here, will the august audience here appreciate it? Will they understand? Will they connect? Will I connect with them? What kind of music have all of you been exposed to? I do not know. That's the surprise element. Yes, music is universal, but it needs to connect with the audience. Thank you. I shall start my demonstration of the three-way communication between the artist, the co-artist, and the audience.
I can't really fold my hands together with carrying all this paraphernalia, but thank you so very much. That was just beautiful. I think that for us who are trying to understand what ambience does to the mood of a community, you really demonstrated that. Thank you very much. Thank you both.